Good day, everyone. Today we are going to talk about flowers. Active vocabulary includes such words as reproduction, flower, leaf, stem, roots, produce, to be pollinated, petal, stigma, anther, filament, sepal, ovary, and style. Flowers are vital to the reproduction of flowering plants. Flowers are made up of several different parts. Each part is important in its own special way. Can you name all the parts of this plant? These are roots, stem, leaf, and flower itself. In order to produce a new plant, many flowering plants need to be pollinated. Let's learn the parts of the flower, then we can find out more about pollination. Petal. The petal attracts insects to visit the flower. The colors that we see in the flower petals are quite different to those seen by insects with their specialized eyes. Stigma. The stigma receives the pollen from visiting insects. It is one of the female parts of a flower. The others are the style and the ovary. Style. As the style leads down to ovary, it is another of the female parts of a flower. Ovary is located at the base of the flower. The three female parts of a flower are together called the pistil or the carpel. The female parts of a flower make the seeds. Filament. The filament is one of the male parts of a flower. The other male part is called the anther. Together they are called the stamen. Anther is one of the male parts of a flower. The shape and size of the anther will attract the correct insects. The anther and filament make the pollen. Together they are called the stamen. Sepal. Sepal is usually green. It is part of the flower that protects the bud. It is not part of the pollination process. Pollination. In order to produce a new plant, many flowering plants need to be pollinated. This means that pollen produced by the stamen needs to reach the stigma. Many plants cannot be pollinated by their own pollen. The pollen must land on another plant of the same type. This is called the pollination. Insects pollinate many flowering plants. The flower attracts the insect by using its colors and smells. The insect arrives at the flower to collect the nectar, which is a sweet liquid. While the insect is collecting the nectar, the male parts of the flower brush it with pollen. The insect then travels to another flower where the pollen brushes off onto the female parts of that flower. If the pollen is from the same type of flower, then it pollinates the visited flower. Pollen grains land on the stigma. The male cell travels down the tube and then fertilizes the ovule. Now the seeds start to develop and grow. Put the suitable words: the plant, the male, the ovary, the seeds, and the pollen. And answer the following question. Name the parts of the flower. What is pollination and why pollination is so important? Thank you for your attention.